Hey y'all, welcome back to the Holy Comforter Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm Jimmy Abbott, the priest here at Holy Comforter, and I have some thoughts and reflections for you on the gospel passage for the fourth Sunday of Advent, December 22nd, 2019. We're looking at the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. It's a great beginning. It just sort of lays it out pretty clearly. Now, the birth of Jesus the Messiah took place in this way. Oh, well, okay, thank you. So it's a little bit of leaning in to Christmas. Now, this is interesting that we hear in this that Joseph has taken Mary to be engaged. They have not lived together, but that it becomes apparent that Mary is with child. Joseph plans to dismiss her quietly, but it says that in a night, Joseph has a dream, and in that dream, an angel of the Lord tells him, take care of Mary, name the baby Jesus, because this child has come to save us, that you will name this child Jesus, because Jesus literally means he saves. Now, it's interesting, a number of things going on in this. The first is the importance of dreams in the Gospel of Matthew. In lectionary year A, which we're coming into in 2020, we will be reading through the Gospel of Matthew, so we're going to come across all these dreams. This is one of them, when the angel of the Lord approaches Joseph in a dream to tell him about the birth of Jesus. We'll also hear in a dream that Joseph knows to flee to Egypt because Herod is about to massacre all the children in his attempt to kill the child Jesus. It's also in the Gospel of Matthew in which Pontius Pilate's wife has a dream, and she goes to Pontius Pilate in chapter 27 and says, hey, Pilate, hubby, don't do anything to this guy because he's innocent. It's really interesting how throughout the Gospel of Matthew we're going to encounter all of these dreams, which again is very much like the story of Genesis, right? When Joseph interprets the dreams. It's also like the book of Daniel. The prophet Daniel interprets the dreams of Nebuchadnezzar. So there's a lot going on there. I will say no more about it other than to say, look out for all the places that there are dreams because they give us a hint on what is about to happen. It's also important in Matthew that Matthew's gospel focuses on the character of Joseph in the birth narrative. It's in the Gospel of Luke that we have the angel Gabriel coming to Mary, in which she conceives when she says, let it be according to your word. It's interesting that here in Matthew, the focus is on Joseph. There's something else going on here, and this is maybe the greater theological point. I do believe that the birth of Jesus was a virgin birth. It's in the creeds. That's the Christian doctrine. I have no problems with that. My problem is, I think when we over-sentimentalize that doctrine and it becomes the only thing we really think about at Christmas is, it was so great that Mary had this baby, hooray. Which is true, and that we have to honor God and worship God and thank God for the gift of this child. But the true miracle is that God chooses to be with us, that God would stoop to our level. God would take on flesh and matter like one of us and live with us and die with us. That is the true miracle. And I think that in the sort of nostalgia of Christmas, we can forget just the radical, the mind-blowing nature of this grace and of this gospel. Not that God dwells far apart from us in light, inaccessible to humans, but actually that God would choose to stoop down and to be at our level. Athanasius, the old church father, says the grace of this is not that we look up to see God, but actually that we can look out to see God and see Jesus at our own level. So that's what I want you to dwell on as you prepare for this last Sunday of Advent and as you get ready for Christmas. Yes, the virgin birth is a wonderful, fabulous miracle, a gift of God. But think about what that is actually getting us ready for, and leading us into and preparing us for. And that is the true gift of God's grace, that God would choose to be with us, even us humans in this life. So, not that we have to die and shed our bodies and live in a spirit to see God, but rather that God comes to us in a body, and so that we can see God flesh to flesh, face to face, eye to eye. That, I think, is the greatest miracle of all. Thank you all for joining me. Many blessings on your Advent and on your Christmas. Of course, our Christmas services here at Holy Comforter on Christmas Eve, 3, 5, and 9 p.m., and then a Christmas Day service at 4 p.m. Either way, I hope that you find a place to worship and to give thanks to God for the grace of this child and of this God that chooses to be with us. God bless you.